Hey, all you beautiful humans out there. This is your host, Morgan. You're joining us on A Perch of Birds podcast, episode number 39. Hope y'all are doing well out there in podcast land. Today, we're joined by Rakim Thorpe and Devin Clark. These guys are MMA fighters training out of Jackson's Wing Professional MMA Gym in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Devin is a pro UFC fighter with a standing pro record of 9-3. Fights this Saturday, April 20th in Russia, and Rakim just came off his latest win with a record of 6-3. We talk what it takes to be a pro fighter, diet, training, lifestyle, and what sacrifices it takes to be a warrior in the modern era, from cutting weight to living and breathing fighting like most of us do our 9-to-5 jobs. We talk about all kinds of stuff. This one's a great episode, guys. Don't miss Devin's fight. It's up this Saturday, April 20th, and follow him and Rakim on social media. Devin at Brown Bear UFC and Rakim at that's the number 1 Rakim. That's on Instagram. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff in this one. You guys are going to be, I was enthralled through the whole thing. It was a joy just to be inside of this actual gym where so many warriors and champions have just, as these guys put it, been spit out like a fighter factory, like a champion fighter factory. We go over everything from head injuries, supplements, sleeping, drinking and letting loose, you name it. This is a great episode. If you guys dig what you're listening to and you guys want to help support the podcast, join our murder, the flock, join us on the perch. We're at patreon.com/APOB media. If you guys want to check out everything that we're doing on social, usually we're at facebook.com/APOB media. We're on Instagram at A Perch of Birds media. All right, you guys, enjoy the episode and stay frosty out there. Don't be sleeping on that greatness. I know y'all can do it. Well, we are live. Welcome to A Perch of Birds podcast. I got Mr. Rakim Thorpe and Devin Clark.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. So you guys are essentially at the best school in the world for training for UFC, MMA, grappling, all that stuff. So talk to me, guys. So Rakim, you're kind of up and coming. You're newer to the school, but you're newer to the sport. Would I have that right?
Yeah, I just got here 2 months ago, 6-3 as an amateur. I had a fight on a week's notice about a month ago. I won, and I'm just glad to be here. I'm happy.
Ran him into the ground, bro. I saw that.
Yeah.
And that was only a month training here, right?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
That's badass, man.
Thank you.
So then, Devin, talk to me, man. So you're actually in the UFC, right?
Yeah, I'm in the UFC, 9-3 as a professional. And I had a fight in December, ended up losing. It was a tough fight. I dropped him twice, then he caught me with one that finished the fight. But now I'm fighting in Russia on April 20th. So.
Oh, that's badass.
So yeah.
Where it's always cold.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm from South Dakota, though. So,
oh, okay.
I'm definitely used to the cold.
Okay.
So.
And then, Rakim, you're from Georgia, right?
I'm from New Jersey, but I started training MMA in Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that you had moved. So New Jersey, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it gets cold as fuck up there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the weather in New Mexico?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And
yeah.
The mountains, you can't beat it here.
Right. And the sunset, the sunrise, bro. It's like totally worth it. You guys get outdoors at all? Do any hiking and shit like that? Yeah. Okay.
I do.
No, that's cool.
Have you been out yet?
Yeah, I went to the Sandia Crest, almost 10,000 feet up, but I didn't really get to enjoy a summer yet because I came out here in the winter, so
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll see it gets hot as fuck. What's nice, though, is it's dry heat, which is really comfortable compared to, like, just about anywhere else. Like, Arizona is too hot, even though it's dry, you know what I mean? But, like, everywhere else that you go down south, you're going to end up, it's just wet and sticky. I'm sure you know what that's like in Georgia, bro.
It gets really humid in Atlanta.
Yeah, you get out of the shower in the summer and you stay wet, like, even if you try to dry off. So you guys are training here at this school. So this is like, I guess it would be a little bit different than what you guys were training for altitude wise. Is it complicated to train here? Like, was it hard to like get used to it? You've only been here 2 months. Do you feel like that's been like a challenge for you to get used to the altitude of Albuquerque?
Yeah, I came out here in shape, but after like training for one day, I was like, wow, it's really different.
Yeah.
It's harder to breathe. Your lungs have to work harder. So it took me about, I'm going to say after my fight, I got used to it.
Okay. And when you guys are doing a lot of the training here, how much is cardio a part of your guys' deal? Is that like something that I guess like we're going to get more into the weeds on this, but in terms of overall training, how much control do you guys have of what you do?
Quite a bit. I mean, the nice thing about a gym like this is there's sessions going all day long.
Yeah.
So if you want to do a morning and an evening, you can do that. Or if you want to do morning, afternoon, evening, whatever, you can get a lot of sessions in. But the cardio is very important. The rule of thumb is like 2 weeks it takes you to get adjusted to the altitude.
Okay.
And that's that's just getting used to it, so your body stops freaking out, because that's what happens. You can't breathe and your body starts to freak out, so it makes it even worse.
Were you getting like dizzy and shit when you first came over?
Oh yeah, you can get altitude sickness and headache, and you get really sick from it. But yeah, you just got to take it a little bit slow, and then hanging out in the mountains helps at the higher altitude, and then coming down and training here. But yeah, you just gotta. It takes a little while.
Yeah. And they say like you guys, because where do you guys mostly? Well, you guys mostly fought. Well, you fought here, Rakim, right? So that was you were already at altitude. But where are you? So you're in Russia. Do you know how high that's going to be?
It's sea level. It's St. Petersburg, so it's right.
So you have an advantage then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually do coming from here, unless we fight in Denver or Mexico.
Okay.
I believe.
Sure. Because Mexico City sits pretty high.
Yeah, and and the air quality is not good. So
that might be the secret sauce, right? At Jackson's, just the altitude by itself.
Oh, it's definitely one of the things that why a lot of people come here, and you go train in the altitude. You get ready.
Sure. So cardio is a big part of the deal. Do you guys do any sort of like races and stuff like that? Like is fighting the main game? I realize that you're, I mean, basically trying to make money off of this is your career, but in the same breath, do you guys like try to do like, you know, Mayweather would try to do like a marathon and just constantly running, like all you see is video of him running all the time. Do you guys try to like get yourself into something outside of here? Like, I don't know, race, half marathon?
I haven't.
I never tried it, but I always thought about doing like, you know, one of those mini triathlons or something like that.
Oh yeah. Those are tough as fuck, bro.
Yeah, maybe after MMA.
Yeah. Okay. So do you guys ever have to cut weight? Like, is that's a thing, right? Like, I know it's kind of controversial in the UFC
it's pretty normal to cut at least like 15 pounds or so.
Okay.
And I'm a light heavyweight, so we can cut a little bit more, but how much do you cut?
Well, you know, I used to be 190 like 4 years ago.
Are you serious, bro? It's heavier than me, dog.
It's a little fat round bowl. But, you know, now I walk around at 160 after, you know, adjusting the training every day. So when it's time to fight, I only have to cut 15 pounds.
Only? God damn.
Yeah.
So you guys, I mean, I'm just curious because I'm a runner. Like, do you guys run to get that done, or do you like wear the sweater and just like roll quite a bit? What do you do to cut the weight? Just a mixture of all of it?
It's a mixture of training, using like sweet sweater, albuline, the sauna, or a lot of people use the hot bath.
Okay.
It's a weird procedure, but it's really
hot bath. Talk to me. What's this hot bath?
All right, so basically you take like sweet sweat or like albuline. It's like makeup remover. You rub it all around your body, and you sit in a jacuzzi, and for some reason it opens up your pores and like you can lose like 2 pounds.
You just blew my mind right now, bro. That's heavy. I didn't know you guys did shit like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see like a difference on the scale doing that, right?
Yeah, in like 30 minutes you can lose like 4 pounds or more.
So what I'll do, like, just, you know, I'll go in the morning and I work in medical, but I work in IT. So I just kind of go in there to fuck around, you know, like do my thing, but they always have scales everywhere. So because I run, like I try to keep an eye on what my weight is. So I'll go in there and weigh like 185 in the morning, and then I'll go for like a 6 mile run, 9 mile run, and I'll come down to like 179. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm sure shitting and water and all that stuff throughout the day, you know, that's a variance. So I guess 15 pounds isn't too bad now that you kind of put it like that, because you just put a little bit of work in running, and then you do some of that albuline. What'd you call it?
It's albuline, but like a lot of people in UFC, they use sweet sweat. It's the same thing. Yeah. It makes you sweat. It opens your pores.
I'm about to Google this shit. Y'all just blew my mind.
But it's over the course of about a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you forgot the most important thing, the diet.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Of course.
I use anyways. I water load.
Okay.
So the weekend before the fight, leading up to that week, I'll drink 2 to 3 gallons a day for like 3 days, depends on how much of a weight.
2 to 3 gallons in a day?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So you water load. And then over the week, as closer to the fight gets, you cut your water back. Okay. And then you cut your sodium too. So all the water just kind of flushes out of you. Sure. So a lot of it's already draining down, and then you usually have to cut the last 5 to 10 pounds with the sauna or the sweet sweat and stuff like that.
Do you guys feel sick doing this shit?
You can.
Yeah.
You can, but if you do it right, you're good.
Okay. Because I mean, that's always, it comes up, you know, like, of course, I'm a podcaster. I listen to Joe Rogan's cast all the time, and he does the MMA ones, and he talks talks shit about it, basically. That's still like a thing. What could they do to fix that? What would be a difference in that? Just create more weight classes, right? Isn't that the idea?
Yeah, I suppose more weight classes, but also people having more knowledge of how to cut weight.
Like safer.
Yeah, because like when I do it, I still eat 3 times a day.
Right. Okay.
Even the day before weigh-ins, I'm still eating 3 times a day. But some people, they'll not eat for almost the whole week, and then they'll not drink. That they won't do the water load. So then they're really just cutting 15 pounds of water without. And it's unsafe that way. Right. And you're just getting dehydrated. So.
Yeah. I would think I'd feel like shit doing that. Like I did a marathon, bro, and it took me like a long time to come back from that, just from the water. You know what I mean? Like I could like take that salt and shake it off onto some food or something, you know? Yeah. Had so much coming out of it.
Well, you do like after a weight cut, usually it's about a liter of water an hour for that whole day, and then you're fighting the next day.
Damn.
So, I mean, the putting on the weight's important too. Yeah. Putting back on the weight and rehydrating the right way. And that's where a lot of guys go wrong as well. Okay. You know, they'll just go to breakfast, eat a shit ton, drink a shit ton, and then they're bloated and their stomach is not working. Yeah. It just kind of shuts down. Okay. So, there's a right way to do it.
That sounds fucking horrible, bro.
It's not bad. It's not too bad.
But it's part of the deal, right? Like you guys know you signed up for this. Okay.
Yeah. Did you wrestle?
Yeah, I wrestled.
Yeah. So we're wrestlers. So I'm sure I was used to doing it the wrong way. Yeah. In wrestling.
Definitely.
Okay. They didn't teach us how to cut weight the right way. And we were doing it on a weekly basis. So I suppose we got used to that shitty feeling, right? Being dehydrated and going out there wrestling no matter what. So
when you guys, I mean, just individually. So when you guys first started to get into this, you're talking about wrestling. I saw an interview you talked about you were in football for a little while. So what got you guys? We'll start with you, Rakim. What got you started in fighting? Did you just get into fights when you were in school, or was it something that was like an outlet for you? Like what got you to this point? Kind of, short story.
Well, I've been an athlete my whole life. I didn't really get into many fights in high school, maybe like 1 or 2. But in college, I got into like 5 fights over girls.
Are you
girls? Yeah, and I just remember walking in the middle of the street like, damn, I'm not good at anything except, English class and fighting.
Yeah.
And girls.
Maybe just not the correct girls, right?
Yeah. And then, after college, I was fat. So I was like, man, I'm going to need to do some... I need to work out or something, but working out sucks, so I'm going to try MMA out. I just started doing it, and I was like, I'm going to fight in like a year. And then I ended up having my first fight in 10 months,
Damn, okay. So you closed that gap pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay, and do you feel like, in terms of opportunities, you feel like this is probably like your greatest achievement so far, even just the journey that you've put yourself on?
Yeah, definitely. Coming here, I've been getting my ass beat a lot. So like, it's like
it's humbling.
It's humbling, and it's figuring out where you are in your MMA journey. There's guys here younger than me, that already have big contracts, but there's guys that are older than me that are on the same grind. So anybody can still make it, but just being around like people in the UFC, like this guy just came in today. Yeah. It's just motivating. So
that's awesome. So you feel like the mentors around you is really what's making this place worth it for you, because you get your ass kicked, but then you also I'm sure you get critiqued.
Yeah, it's the mentorship, it's the teammates, and it's just the environment. It's like a fight factory,
Yeah.
Rather than being at like a local gym, where it's not fighters only and there's regular people working out.
Guys like me coming in on the weekend.
There's nothing against that. But, I want to reach the next level, so I came here to be around, the cream of the crop.
So when you got going, you don't have like a specialized style, like something in particular that MMA, of course, is mixed martial arts, but did you come in through jiu-jitsu? Like, where did you kind of get started at?
I started out, I wrestled in high school.
Sure. Okay.
But I don't really have a background, so I just came out and just tried to learn everything as fast as possible. So
you fight kind of like a Muay Thai kind of. Am I saying it right? Muay Thai. How do you say it?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai is the drink, right?
Muay Thai is the
drink. Okay. but I noticed you kind of have like a higher guard. You know what I mean? When you go to fight, and I don't. Is that something that you developed while you were here? It's just something that naturally came of just you getting in there and gladiator and.
In Georgia, I was always taught the A-frame.
Okay.
But moving to Jackson Wink, they want you to fight with a different type of frame with your hands out so you can move more freely.
Okay.
But
not quite like Prince Nassim. Do you guys remember him, the boxer? Prince Nassim, that guy that would just literally put his hands down and put his chin out.
Yeah.
Fight like a jackass,
Right.
but still win. Yeah.
For a while, he won. But okay, so essentially, you've kind of you're just working on an MMA style across the board. It's not like
yeah, because I did study like I did boxing for like a year. And when you have your hands close to your face and high up, you're successful to getting taken down by, like a wrestler.
Sure.
So if you have your frames out, you got a better chance of, blocking things and being ready for anything coming at you.
That's interesting. All right, Devin, talk to me, man. So where did you get your start in fighting, man? Was it again were you over girls or what was it?
Nah,
No?
I've never been in a street fight in my life.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I learned boxing at a young age.
Okay.
I started boxing when I was like six or seven, and then I started wrestling when I was 7. So wrestled my whole life, played football, all that, athlete, and then I wrestled in junior college, and after that I did 2 years. And I won a national championship in that in wrestling. And then I, started smoking too much weed and stuff like that. And
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
man.
ended up kind of failing out of college. So then I ended up moving back home, working construction. I needed something to do. I wasn't done being an athlete. So my dad's friend had an amateur team. So I started training with them and realized I was pretty good at it. So just kind of went from there. And I used my wrestling background and my boxing background the best I could. And it just kind of took off. Did some amateur fights, then did some pro fights, fought for RFA, LFA now. Went on a streak, and then I got signed by Dana White at his show looking for a fight.
Oh, that's badass, dude.
So yeah, and then
so you feel like it was totally worth it, like just pulling up stakes and pursuing this?
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and I never, growing up in college, stuff like that, I never really wanted to I never had dreams of being a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened. I just got in there. It was a tough thing to do, so I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Anytime someone says, "Oh, that's crazy," it makes me want to do it.
Right.
Bull riding, whatever. I still want to do bull riding.
Right. Do you really?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so I've been on a bull one time, dog.
Really?
It's pretty scary.
How was it? It was good?
5 seconds, I think I got. I don't think I got very far because
Really?
my wife is, she's a country girl, and then her whole family, like, I said I work in IT, like I'm a city boy. You ask anybody that knows me, you know what I mean? But I love my wife to death. Opposites attract, that kind of thing. So I was out there way out in the down south, and they're like, "You're not gonna get on the bull, you pussy." So I was like, you know what? I fucking will. I'm shaking, bro, shaking.
Oh, wow.
And they're loaning me a glove, and her cousin's like a little dude, so this glove barely fit me,
no.
and it's got like the tack on it or whatever. And I jump on the bull. They give me the smallest bull, come to find out, because they had some that were huge, and like some of the bigger ones are actually kind of nice. They're not,
A little
like
slower.
yeah, or they're just not aggressive, that's just the nature of some of these bulls. But I got on this one and had big old long horns. I'm like, oh fuck, like I was rattling, bro, and I was like, oh. And I got on there and I rode, bro, and like they're like, you're gonna, they're all wearing hats. I'm wearing a beanie, bro, and I think I was wearing shorts. I lasted for about 5 seconds and he kicked me off onto my head, and then he just starts going after me, bro. And I ran and I hit the fence, and it's happened like that. I mean, you don't even get and my head hurt, and I was like, no, fuck no.
That's an MMA fight right there. That's what an MMA fight feels like.
It's just a quick split second. And it's over.
Just like the adrenaline leading up to it, like, oh shit, I'm about to do something fucked up. This is scary. Something's trying to, someone's trying to take over you. So
would you say it's like the greatest adrenaline rush that you've ever had? Getting ready for a fight?
As of now.
Yeah.
As of right now, but I haven't done a lot of crazy shit. I mean, I haven't skydived yet or whatever, but according to Cowboy Cerrone, it's, he's done all that. And then I think he said fighting is one of the top. So
yeah. Okay. So when you guys are getting ready for a fight, like you're ready to step into the ring, do you guys, do you feel like this is like a culmination of your life? Like you're meant to be there when you guys are getting ready to step into the ring?
Yeah, definitely.
You have to feel that way.
Yeah.
If you're second guessing, if you belong there or not, it might be a rough night. But you might have to lie to yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Be like, just like when you're on the ball, like, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
When you're not. But yeah.
So what do you guys do to get yourself psyched up before a fight? Like what's the move? You guys listen to music, or is it like meditation, just silence time? Do you like shut the door, or do you like to get slapped in the face like the powerlifter guys do? How's it?
Yeah, man, I do a combination of things. I I listen to binaural beats to like, you know, it's like different type of frequencies to get my mind right.
Like alphas and beta waves and stuff like that. Yeah, I do that. Okay, that's awesome.
I listen to music, of course, you know, my favorite songs, you know, kind of ease anxiety. And I listen to Alan Watts, man.
Okay.
A lot of people take fighting too, like I take fighting serious. I don't know why, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't even take life serious, you know?
Sure.
But I don't know, like, because you can die once you get in the cage, but it's not like you're going to Iraq and you're about to get deployed and, you know, you're about to go shoot people. So,
right.
But sometimes the pressure feels like that, and you got social media nowadays where you got people rooting against you. You got ex-girlfriends looking at you that want you to lose. You know?
Really?
But you also got people that want you to...
That's dirty warfare, bro.
Also got
those girls always come up. Those girls come
You always got people, but then you have that, but then you also got people that want you to win. So, like, you got people from your hometown rooting for you. So, it's a lot of pressure fighting.
Do you guys keep your nose out of the comments? Or, like, pre-fight? Or do you care? I mean, does that shit phase you guys at all?
Nah.
You kind of get used to that shit.
Nah.
But I'm not as big as him. He probably knows a little more than I do.
Not a lot of people talk. They don't talk too much shit to me because I'm just nice to everybody and I don't really get into it.
Yeah.
If there's a negative comment on one of my posts, I'll delete it right away.
Okay.
I'll just delete it. Like there's no point in me arguing with somebody that has 25 fucking followers.
Right.
And it's just trolling me, like just to get a rise out of me. I delete it and forget it.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like that's kind of speaks to like how a fighter's mindset is. Like you guys are mean as fuck in the ring, but outside of that, I think you guys are able to vent a lot of. I mean, if you have any anger, you know what I mean. Like it all gets put out in training. Do you guys feel like other fighters like that are here? Are you guys some of the mellower people you would meet just because of what you guys do?
I think a lot of the fighters here act like that. There's a few that might fight in the street and stuff like that, but for the most part, we don't. You don't pick on civilians,
right?
I mean, that's kind of what we train every day
because you're basically like you have a licensed weapon as your hands, right? Like that's kind of the idea.
Pretty much. I mean, we could fuck up most people on the street, you know, without even trying.
Yeah.
That's without even throwing punches. So, we just try not to fuck with people that don't know what they're doing, especially if they're talking shit. Like, just let it. All right, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
I can fuck you up and I know it, so I'm just gonna let that slide.
Let me see you cut weight and then step in the ring, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's what you guys do to. I mean, it seems like it's all mindset when you guys get in the ring, and then the training and the culmination of these things. So do you guys like? I do like a taper before I get into a fight, or I do not fight. Fucking, let's edit that out. No, I do a taper before I go for a race. Is what I meant to say. So like the last week, I'm probably the mellowest that I'll be. Like I'll train hard. You know what I mean? Up until that last week. Are you guys kind of in that same mindset where you're trying to keep yourselves from getting injured? Are you training lighter that last week before you get into it?
Yeah. I think most guys do that. You train hard, then you have that last hard week, and then it's fight week. Okay. You kind of just chill, focus on your weight cut, get your mind right. Stuff like that.
Stay hydrated and shit like that. Yeah. Is sex a thing? Is that still a thing? Like you don't want to have sex the night before or anything like that? Does that like let out the demons? You guys believe in that shit?
Man,
it's a safe place. You could tell me that. He's like, I had these lady issues.
I think that's only in boxing, man. A lot of MMA fighters fuck before the night of the fight multiple times, but to be honest, the week of the fight, my sex game is trash. I might last 15 seconds because I don't have any nutrients or like water in me.
Got you.
That weight cut.
It fucks you up.
Tears you up. Sure, I can see that. You're not in grade A for the ladies, but you're grade A to beat the dudes down. That's what it is.
But you know, it depends on the person too, because the way I look at it is, you might knock that out, get that out of the way, so there's no sex on your mind.
Right.
You're not thinking about anything, you know, ring girls.
You're still
or whatever,
a dude. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you just get that out of the way, and you know, I'm married, so and I'm away before my fight, so it doesn't happen anyway. So I'm just in that mindset. So, you know, but it depends on the guy. So
got you. And then do you, just because you said that, does your wife live in town?
No, in South Dakota.
Oh man, so that's gotta be.
I come down here, train for my fights 4 to 6 weeks at a time.
Okay, yeah. And then you head back out there.
Yeah,
that's gotta be kind of tough, bro.
It's a little tough, and I got a daughter too, so a 5-year-old daughter.
Okay, yeah, I had a job where I'd be gone for a week, bro, and it killed me. I got 3 kids and my wife, so it's like, you know, Skype can only get you so far. You know? It's like, I love you guys. I go back and earn money. So kind of switching gears here a little bit. So when you guys are watching movies and shit like that, you guys are seeing people. We already talked about people kind of on the street, kind of being fake. So do you guys have like a favorite movie action star, like somebody that you see that you think could be, I wouldn't say a contender necessarily, but it looks like they probably actually know how to fight. Like Jason Statham, I always feel like he looks to me like he would be able to handle himself if he got in the ring, even just sparring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of those guys do train a little bit. I mean, Keanu Reeves, I know he trains,
right?
But I'm sure I'd still fuck him up. But
yeah,
there's different levels to it. But yeah, I don't know.
You don't have like a favorite action star at all? You can say Chuck Norris, bro.
I like Black Panther.
Okay,
go with Black. You want to go with Black Panther too?
T'Challa.
Yeah. I dig it, man. Well, I'm sure that, like just the training that goes into that, like Michael B. Jordan, right?
Yeah.
When he was doing his thing for Creed, bro, like I was watching a bunch of his training stuff, and he was training with like basically a fighter's mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, because of course he was getting into boxing, but granted he wasn't taking hits, which I think that's a whole nother story, is when you're actually sparring compared to just looking like you can fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so when you see these guys train, does it ever, do you ever like, do you guys have like the Rocky song playing in your head or anything like that when you guys are, is this, because it sounds to me, of course, you guys are my first UFC fighters I've ever interviewed, but it sounds to me like it's completely your own independent game when you guys have your mindset. But do you have influencers like that? Like somebody you thought of, like Mike Tyson growing up, like somebody that's like, that you look up to, that's like I don't know. Now they're like a movie star or a TV star more than they are a fighter. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I think Mike Tyson's at the top of everybody's list as a fighter.
Sure.
If you're an MMA fighter, boxer, whatever, Mike Tyson's inspired you at some point.
Yeah, throwing bags of bricks from his hands and shit.
I mean, he's legendary, and seeing what he did coming from where he came from. Yeah. Everybody wants to be Mike Tyson,
right?
That knockout guy,
right? And then have the mouth that Muhammad Ali had, bro.
Yeah, I wish I had that, but
I don't have
that charisma.
So that's a good thing to get into. So what about like talking shit before a fight to the other fighter? Is that something that you guys get into? You see a lot of it, and I want to get more into the weeds with this later, but you see a lot of it in like the higher up you move in the spotlight in like UFC and even just MMA across the board, even like Bellator. But like it seems like they spotlight a lot of these conflicts that people will have. Do you guys try to get into your opponent's head before you guys fight? Is that a legit thing even at your guys' level?
Yeah, I mean it depends on the level. Man, where you're at right now, what do you think?
Ever since like back in Georgia, it's worse than here. Like people in Georgia, like there's like a community where you can go and post shit and like tag fighters. I never been really the shit talking type. I'm kind of a quiet, laid back guy. I like to let my performance do the talking.
Sure.
But ever since Conor McGregor came out, like even I was captivated by it, like in 2013, the first time I seen him. But like they just follow after him, they and it sells fights. They say it sells tickets talking shit, but sometimes it can backfire. Like look at T. Woodley and Kamaru Usman.
Right.
If you listen to that press conference, Tyron Woodley was saying crazy shit like, I could tap you out, I could submit you, I'll knock you out if it goes to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he gets out there and gets stuck against the cage.
He's flat.
So
overhyped himself.
So that kind of shakes your own thing, because I always wondered. I guess it wouldn't be scripted, but I wonder if like you got like Dana White, like, hey, feel free to talk some shit.
Of course, it's a promotion. You gotta sell tickets. Yeah. So yeah.
A lot of these guys now, especially UFC, you get top 15. They think they kind of have to, and they think that's the norm now. You got guys like Askren and Colby Covington. They think it's all right just talk shit freely. And then this past weekend, was it Game Bread fighter?
Jorge Masvidal.
Masvidal, dude was started to talk shit to him, and he pieced him up in the back after a fight. They both just won their fights, and the dude started talking shit, thought it was just routine, like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. I want to get that fight with him, so I'm going to talk some shit to him. And Masvidal said, he walked up to him, and he had his hands behind his back. Then the other dude put his hands up like he was going to fight. And Jorge he let off on him.
Damn.
Hit him with the 3-piece and a soda, he said. Pop, pop, pop. Left the dude bloody.
Oh,
and this was after he winning a fight. This is backstage, and everyone's like, oh, shit. But that's what talking shit gets you if you're dealing with a real person.
Yeah.
A real motherfucker. And some of these fighters are. A lot of them aren't nowadays. They talk shit. Oh, let's hype this. But nah, like some of us don't get down like that.
Right.
So,
I mean, I'm wondering if like, do you guys feel like these guys will work out through their camp and then through their area? Like, you know, you kind of become the top in your camp and then you come and then you go against the top in other camps, like in these fights. And then they find out like, oh, fuck, I'm not the baddest in the world. Maybe out of wherever I was at, you know what I mean? And then kind of get humbled.
we don't have that problem here. We're at Jackson Wink. This is the best gym in the world. We got the champs. I mean, we train with the best in the world, literally. So we get humbled here, and then we go fight the other people.
So you feel like there's like a nice camaraderie here, like
oh, absolutely,
that's cool.
Absolutely, even the highest level here, they're still willing to help and stuff like that. And but the thing is, we see this before the fight, and we see the best fighter in the world before the fight. So
right.
It eases our mind going into it. We don't have to do all that shit talking and whatever.
Right.
So
you can kind of emulate what the greats are doing and see like this is how the baddest do it. That's awesome.
And for me, when it comes time to fight, everything starts fight week. And in the UFC, they all put us up in the same hotel.
Okay.
So you're gonna see your opponent
right.
at some point. Usually, I end up seeing mine like the first hour I'm there.
Of course.
And that's when you start the mental game.
Sure.
For me, I don't talk shit on social media too much, nothing like that. But as soon as we see each other, I'm polite.
Yeah.
I'm polite but stern. And
yeah.
it's kind of
do the strong handshake thing.
Passive aggressive. Passive aggressive.
Right.
You know, good luck. In my mind, I'm gonna fuck you up. So, but you look in their eyes and you let them know you're here for real. So
yeah,
yeah.
Like I saw you slept in a little bit. You ready to sleep some more later on? That's awesome, man. So Rakim, talk to me, man, because you're essentially, I don't know if I have this right. You'd be an amateur compared to Devin being, because you're considered pro, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference in like the way that you get fights? Is this something that they're looking for fights for you, or do you have like an agent? Like how does that work comparatively to like the UFC where they're setting stuff up?
Yeah. See, right now, my coaches pick my fights for me.
Okay.
You know, I don't have like a manager. Someone in the UFC, they would have a manager. You know, all the fights and, you know, opportunities get filtered through them. And, you know, they get paid a percentage. But as an amateur, there's no money involved. Sometimes I have to pay to fight, you know.
That sucks.
Yeah, because, you know, but, you know,
gas money.
You're trying to.
That's it.
Yeah, you might get like gas money or, you know, a voucher for food or something, but that's it. So right now, I could go pro, but that's not what it's about for me right now. It's about getting better. I've only been doing this for 4 years.
I like that you said that, bro. That's a cool mindset.
You know, some people are naturally talented. They'll get there faster, but I'm playing the long game. I plan on being here for like 10 years, you know?
Got you.
So,
and then when you guys, and speaking of that, like with you guys getting you get your fights picked for you, do you feel like the payoff is there? Like, were you making money beforehand? Like, you know, like I have a normal 9-to-5 job, you know what I mean? And then if I just decided one day to be like, hey babe, tell my wife I'm gonna go start fighting, you know, like just roll and start doing that, you know, do you feel like the trade-off, is working out for you? Like, I mean, is it like worth starving to get to that point, you know, cause you're working your way up, right?
Is it worth being a starving fighter? I mean, yeah, after college, I started working as an operations manager, right? I was making good money, but my life was boring. I was going to work every day. I was turning in to exactly what I was, an operations manager. Fat, stomach hanging over my belt, putting on my suit pants every morning. Right. I'm like, damn, I could do this when I'm 40.
Yeah.
Because, you know, life is long. I could do this when I'm 38 or something.
Yeah.
You know? So I said, fuck that. I'd rather be in the gym sweating, you know, working part-time. Just living while I'm young, enjoying myself. Yeah. That's why I moved here, you know. I left all that shit behind. I go back there, and when I'm done with MMA,
pick it back up.
Yeah.
Be like, so I can do an operations manager, and I can also kill people. So that works, you know, when you're in the interview.
resume.
So it's definitely worth it, man. It's about how you feel at the end of the day. You could be at a job for 10 hours like, oh, man, this shit sucks. I could be training. You know? Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I work in, you know, and I'm not, I try not to like talk about what I do because my listeners hear me talk about, you know, I try to level with you guys. Yeah. I work in IT. So a lot of the guys that I work with, they have to be motivated in order to just start exercising. And it's crazy to overhear, because like I work in medical, like I said, it's crazy to overhear like some of their stories about how
that literally is like the hardest part of their life is just to be active. You know what I mean? And like I run every day, even if I'm going to be a little bit late, if I'm going to take a long lunch, whatever. And then I hit the gym as well, you know, and it's not to do anything except for just not get fat and old. You know what I mean? Like I'm already 30, bro. Like it's just going to start getting worse. You know what I mean? Cause I'm basically sitting in a chair outside of that, you know? So I could see that being something that, you know, that's huge that you'd say that, like you're really just pursuing your dream right now, you know, and do you have like that's what you'd fall back on after you got done fighting?
Yeah, I got a degree in sports entertainment and event management.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's cool as fuck, bro.
It's cool, but the hours are too long in hospitality, like 13-hour days. So.
Right. And wearing the pantsuit. I like how you said
yeah, man, I was getting fat, man. That shit was annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Devin, what you got, man? So you're gonna fight. I mean, and of course you're gonna take it to the top, bro. I know what's gonna happen, both you guys, bro. But if you guys, you know, when you're done with it, what is the plan? I mean, how does that look in the future?
I don't really know yet. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do. But you know, my situation's a little different. When I was coming up fighting amateur, I was in South Dakota training. We didn't have a lot of MMA. Actually, when I first started, MMA was illegal in my state.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I trained, I think, probably 2 years, and then we had to fight to get it legal. And then the RFA came to town, and that changed my life.
What's RFA?
It's just a promotion, but it's one of the bigger regional promotions, and they work closely with the UFC. So if you do get there, you win a title there, you're most likely going to get signed to the UFC.
Oh, that's gangster. Okay.
So I had to, you know, wait it out. I was working 3 jobs and training, and you know that hunger builds. You know, like you said, you're working a job, and you'd rather be training.
Right.
And that's what you're thinking about all day. And I'd think about that all day, and then I'd go train for hours. But yeah, you keep moving on, and then and then end up getting signed and stuff like that. So, but I worked construction before that, and I love doing construction and stuff like that. But I don't really want to fall back on that.
Right.
But yeah, there's just so many options.
Yeah.
You know, probably start a business or something like that, selling houses, whatever. After fighting, of course, open a gym, stuff like that.
Maybe train and shit like that, like train other fighters.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I have the platform now, and you know, my name's a little bit bigger, and especially after when I'm done, when I retire, I should be retire at the top.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty easy to, you know, transfer into that.
Like use that power or whatever.
Yeah. And I know what I'm doing, so it's
right.
You know, that helps too.
Like, no, I do know how to knock people out, bro.
Yeah,
I know how to choke them out. So let me ask you guys this: with the efficacy of fighting and training, I feel like it's taken leaps and bounds, kind of like the NFL did when it comes to head injuries. So how do you guys feel about, you know, like after you guys are done fighting, like does it scare you guys that, you know, that there's some fighters that are fucked up? You know what I mean? Like, and of course it usually comes down to boxing is always the best example because it's basically just headshot after headshot.
Yeah, you get hit a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, so when you guys are going through like training, and I think fighting, you kind of get like a pass because you can't help how much you get hit in the head. I mean, you can, right? That's a whole nother subject, but like you're trying to not get hit in the head when you're in the ring as well as training. But do you guys does that ever cross your mind? Like, I might be fucking stupid if I take a shot to the dome one time that, you know, and it may not affect you now, but in the future, you know, it ends up affecting you guys.
Well, yeah, the sport's still new.
Okay.
So like science is still doing, like they don't have enough information. Like the oldest UFC fighter might be 50 years old, you know?
Sure.
So
okay.
They don't have enough research, but of course that crosses my mind. But with boxing, like you said, it's constant blows and trauma to your head.
Right.
Well, we're wrestlers in MMA, so any fight I ever had, I took them down.
Right.
Because I don't want to get hit in the head.
Right.
This last fight, I was catching elbows like to the top of my head while I was in guard. And the next day, I was a little bit off, you know?
Fuck.
But I don't know. People smoke cigarettes every day knowing that could kill them too,
sure.
you know?
Sure.
I'm too into the game to, you know, even think about like head injuries or anything.
That is the grain of salt to take with it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
You got to be on some beast mode stuff you can't think about, you know, what if this happens? What if this happens? You know, like, yeah, you could die in there and you know, might not be able to talk later on, but you can't think about it. You just got and that's why you just got to do your best and avoid that shit.
Yeah.
Be good at what you do and you'll be fine.
Sure.
But if you're in there, you're taking a half ass and you're just getting hit all the time, you're like, oh, I'm going to block shit with my face. No, get better at get better at
Stop
defense.
his fist in my face.
Yeah, get better at taking people down so you don't have to, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
And, you know, being wrestlers, I think that kind of how we approach things too. Well, I don't like getting hit,
Right.
So I don't,
Right.
So I try not to.
Yeah.
You know,
You guys ever been knocked out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been knocked out.
You haven't been knocked
yet.
out? It's not gonna happen.
That's my biggest fear.
It's not gonna
man.
happen, Doug. So have you been knocked out in the ring?
Yeah, I got knocked out in my last fight. And I woke up like 45 minutes later.
Oh, fuck.
Well, I was walking around. I walked out of the cage and everything like that, but my mental wasn't there.
Yeah.
I started remembering things about 45 minutes later.
Got you.
And I think that's like my first concussion ever. But you hear about guys in high school, even in football, that happens to them in high school football. And they've had like 4 or 5 of those.
Right.
So I'm 28 now. That was my first one. I'm fighting at the highest level, so I should be fine as long as that doesn't become a habit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't become a habit,
Right.
getting knocked out. So, but I've just trained hard and you'll be all right.
Yeah. So do you guys, I mean, and do you feel like you got gun shy after that? Like
Hell
a little
no.
bit? No? Okay.
Hell no.
Okay.
The worst that could happen, well, not the worst, but in my mind, getting knocked out, that's one of the worst things that can happen. I think
Right.
for all fighters, it's happened already.
Yeah.
It's, whatever.
been
Okay.
there, had
Don't
it
have to
done.
worry about
Okay.
that anymore. I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't want that feeling again. It's not going to happen ever again.
Right.
So, nah, not gun shy at all. I'm still going, doing what I'm doing.
I've gotten cleaned out twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What I
Yeah.
used to, so, again, my listeners have heard me tell this story, but we used to drink and party when we were underage at a house that we had, me and a couple buddies. And we thought it'd be cool to just basically bring 30 packs. And then we had 16-ounce gloves.
Oh.
No mouthpiece, no headgear. And after everybody saw us, bro, it's like, who wants to get in the middle, And then we'd get down. And like, I remember I got hit a wall, and I didn't completely lose consciousness, but I just remember my legs going, and hitting the ground. And back then it was like, oh, you're tough, get back up, do it again, and like I'd never, podcasting wasn't as much of a thing. There wasn't as much visual on the, for a layman like me that's not actually fighting, you know what I mean, or doing something like that, bull riding or anything like that. Yeah. There was no like visual on that. And then I went to a party one time and I was really fucked up, and I decided that I was going to box a guy that just showed up sober as a bird.
Oh,
and
no.
dude just hooked me, and I just remember waking up on the ground. Like there was all these people yelling and everything, and then like I wake up and I'm laying on the ground by myself, and everybody's back at the fire. I was
Damn.
like, fuck. So
The worst feeling.
Yeah, dude, and I get some weird like little twinges and shit, and we're all, we all age or whatever. But I always think about that. I'm like, fuck, was I dumb enough to have just walked into what could potentially be, a life altering issue later on in life, And I don't fight like you guys do. That was just my high school years,
Yeah.
But I still think about that. Like Joe Rogan had Dale Earnhardt on, and of all people, bro, he's had like 15 concussions, something like that, just from car crashes, and he got to the point where he had to like do all these. Did you guys listen to that podcast? Either one of you guys?
Didn't get that one.
Very interesting. Like you would never think that he would have as many issues, but it was a huge portion of the podcast is him talking about head injuries, and Rogan was trying to like equate that to like fighters, and I think like you said, it's more like football and boxing. Even like rugby has less head injury rates than football does.
Yeah.
Is there rules in the UFC, even at the UFC level and the amateur level? Is there rules where you can't hit certain ways? I mean, I think aren't you not supposed to be able to take an elbow to the head somehow?
Amateur's a little different. Can you elbow?
In New Mexico, you can elbow to the head and you can knee to the face. Damn. But you can't hit anybody in the back of the head in any combat sport. That's a soft, sensitive area for humans.
Sure.
Yeah.
Knock them down.
Or a 12-6 elbow is illegal.
Okay.
And that's just where you come straight down.
Right into the head.
Top of them. Boom.
Punch a hole into them and shit.
Yeah, and if they're grounded, you can't kick them in the face or anything like that. You can't knee them in the face.
Sure.
So
or Muay Thai or Muay Thai. I can't fucking say it.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Because they'll like kick them when they're going down, like, you know what I mean, like that, and that's a totally different kind of sport. So I guess MMA is kind of nice because it's got built-in little rules to at least keep you from getting completely fucked up. People have died though in UFC, right?
I think a few.
Yeah.
But I think those were like heart attacks, and I think one guy got knocked out.
Yeah, heart attacks, concussions. I feel like maybe like one MMA fighter a year dies.
That's crazy. But it's usually like a chance
boxer.
thing. That's not like typical. That's like a 1% kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So I guess, again, I'm switching gears, kind of what I do for the podcast. But so you guys are training, you guys are doing all this stuff. We've talked about a lot of it, but what do you guys do for weightlifting and shit like that. Is that a big part of it? Because we talked about cardio, talked about you guys getting into it. I noticed, Rakim, I saw you doing like a lot of like lifting, and you were doing like powerlifting, you know, and you're built like a pit bull, bro. Like just the way that you get in there. So like how much of that do you guys integrate? And I realize that must make you heavier, you know what I mean? So you've got to take that into account, I'm sure. But how often are you hitting the gym within like, I don't know, a week or something like that?
You know, it's not as frequent as football, you know.
Okay.
Like in football, you power lift, you like bench, squat, clean, push, jerk 3 times a week, you know, to maintain your power and explosiveness. MMA fighters, they're not supposed to be bulky, but you know, some of us are. So we use it to our advantage, but we do different workouts. We don't like do powerlifting. Like when I was 17, I could deadlift 585.
Fuck,
you know?
bro.
I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a different type of athlete. It's more about, you got to have a slender build so you can move faster in MMA.
And twist and get around shit. Yeah. Like that's what I always noticed about Brock Lesnar, bro. Like, dude, I mean, granted, he's like a heavyweight, but like, dude is yoked. And like, I don't know how the fuck he even, for one, wipes his ass, but for two, like how he gets bent around, you know, when he's on the ground. I realize that his game is all power. You know what I mean? So you feel like, in your personal opinion, like your style is what dictates how much weight time that you put in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the, you know, high level fighters, they go to the performance ranch here in New Mexico, and they have people, you know, that guide them through their workouts. But me, I just I use what I learned from, you know, every coach I had. You know, I use their strength and conditioning tactics.
Right.
So, but it's not heavy weight. It's more like interval training or like multi-step workouts, you know.
Do you mix in like CrossFit and shit like that?
Nah, but a lot of fighters do.
Okay.
I keep it simple. I use weights, kettlebells, and the treadmill or bike.
Treadmill. Fuck that, bro. It kills my knees. Oh my God.
Oh,
I can't do it. I'll run on that thing one time, bro, and I'll be down for like 3 days. Oh, man.
Yeah, you should use the bike then.
Yeah, well, see, so now I've gotten to the point where, because I used to run half marathons all in toe shoes, like entire half, you know, all my training, everything was done up to that point. Then I did a full marathon like that and fucked myself up. So I quit doing that, and now I run in like shoes, but I have to run outside. And I think it's residual from that race that I did. But every other day, I'm switching off on the bike to try to keep the impact off. You know what I mean? And I've been wanting to get one of them fancy CrossFit bikes where you do the arms at the same time, where they call it the wind.
Oh yeah, Airdyne or whatever.
Airdyne, there you go. Yeah, you know, and a lot of guys talk about that, but just the gyms I go to don't have them. You know, I'm cheap. I go to Planet Fitness. So talk to me, Devin. How much do you get in there? And you guys are different weight classes, right?
Yeah, I'm 205.
Okay.
I'm light heavyweight.
145.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, so there's a big difference there.
You know, my perspective is a little different. I do a lot of the powerlifting stuff, deadlifts, but it's controlled, and we're not going out there to set records when we do it. We do it for, you know, we have a certain goal in mind to be quick, and we do it quick and explosive. If it's a slow, grindy lift, no, that's not what we're doing. I might deadlift 500 pounds, but I'm doing it explosive, and I'm doing 5 of them. Right. You know,
so that's a powerlifting rather than like bodybuilding, I guess, because bodybuilding you're getting bulk, whereas you just want to get explosive,
strong. You want to be strong as shit. So I do a lot of heavier stuff. You know, a couple months out from my fight, but now I've switched gears. So now I'm in fight camp, and I go over to the performance ranch, like you said, and we do a lot of, you know, the different interval stuff and working on the flexibility, shoulder mobility, hip mobility stuff, and moving explosive. Sure. Using that, what the muscle I gained from weightlifting, I'm using that now, and I'm using my explosiveness, and like my legs are, you know, they're
God damn.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see, but that's fucking ridiculous.
I'm about it with that. But so yeah, we learn how to use it. Yeah. And get that to transfer over into MMA and knock a motherfucker out. Right.
Or break their leg from a leg kick, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, no matter what you're doing, as long as you're being progressive with it and not, you know, being an idiot and getting hurt. Yeah. Some guys are like, oh, let me lift the weight and so I can get stronger and stronger, but then they get injured. Right. But you got to do it the right way. And then, you know, as you level up, like I'm sure eventually he'll start working with a trainer and stuff like that. But you know, it costs a lot of money. Yeah. Trainers cost a lot of money. So you get in with the right one, that might help you out or whatever, sponsor you or something like that. Then you kind of take off from there. Right. And the trainer's somebody you have to be able to trust, because there's some trainers out here that are on some bullshit. Right. So
they're like the weekend warrior kind of thing. Yeah. They're like, I'll show him, bro.
And they don't know shit about MMA.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you know, it would help to have a trainer that knows a little bit about MMA.
Got you. And then do you guys integrate any kind of like yoga and shit like that? Like, what's the recovery mode look like? Like, you guys, you work up, you do that taper where you get into a fight, or, you know, you do like some crazy weightlifting load when you're trying to like just get stronger like that. How do you guys taper back down? Like, how is it like yoga? Like, what do you guys?
I swim.
Okay.
Swimming. I run the hills too, but swimming's easy on your body. But you're still able to get a good long workout.
Sure.
And it doesn't tax your body too much. So you can do.
You don't stink as bad.
You don't stink as bad. You do all your other workouts in the week. You know, it's not going to kill you. So I like doing that, and that helps with the mobility, shoulder mobility, and stuff like that.
Okay. And the reason why I ask is because like with me, like I'll do. You know, I'm 6'1", but I weigh like 180. You know what I mean? So I'm very light for my weight or my height, I guess. You know, but it's because I run so much. You know, so I don't typically have to like down a lot of like I'm fucking idiot. It's not electrolytes. What am I trying to say? BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. So do you guys throw a lot of that kind of shit into your diet, or is it just like what's diet wise? Like, are you guys doing a lot of plants? Are you guys doing a lot of meats? I mean, does that correlate with powerlifting? I'm eating a lot of red meat, anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I don't take any supplements at all.
Really? Not even BCAAs?
No. All mine's through diet, and you know, I take coffee.
Right.
Coffee, a little CBD, little THC,
little THC, hell yeah,
a little dip. But you know, other than that, I don't take any supplements. But it's all through diet, and I switch it up, you know, every other day between like chicken and beef, ground beef. And then, of course, the spinach and stuff like that, eggs, a lot of protein.
Do you follow like a tight like 40-40-20 thing? Like proteins, carbs, fat?
No.
Okay.
I listen to my body and how I feel, and that's how I eat. You know, if I'm feeling hungry, I'll eat a little more. I'll go eat a burger, whatever.
That's fucking interesting.
And we work out 3 to 4 times a day here in altitude.
Oh, right, okay.
That shit ain't sticking,
right?
You know, but people are scared to eat the carbs and eat the fats and like, you know, go get a burger or whatever. Nah, you can't be scared of that. You gotta fuel your body,
right?
You gotta fuel it, and you know that's the important thing. As long as you're getting the fuel, and when you stop eating and you're not getting the right fuel back in, your body starts to fall apart.
Yeah, you get shaky.
You're gonna get injured. You're gonna get injured.
Yeah, okay.
You're gonna pull muscles and whatever, get dehydrated, especially at altitude. So it's, you know, there's a little rhyme and rhythm to it.
Sure. Well, that's cool. I guess I'm honestly surprised by that. I thought it was more regimented. You know what I mean? I thought you guys would be like counting it perfectly. I'm sure at certain points, like you kind of get it.
And when you're like in an 8-week fight camp, of course, like. But, you know, even Floyd Mayweather, when he's in fight camp, sometimes he has to stop and get a Big Mac.
Right. Taco Bell.
Right. Right.
You're like, what is he doing? Oh, my God, he's got a fight coming up.
Yeah, but you work so hard, your body, like, it's like putting gas in a car and driving it really far. Gas is going to burn off.
Well, I have I just started running with a watch because like I've always done like I quit smoking by running. Running to quit smoking, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
But I would push to where I'd throw up. That was always my fucking threshold. Like, if I throw up after a mile, then that's my limit. Like next step is to pass out, you know? So then eventually that turned into like 5 miles, 10 miles, 15 miles, you know, it just kept going. But then I noticed that I've been doing this since 2011 and like I'm nervous about like cardiomyopathy or whatever the fuck it's called, where you can tear your heart up, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I started going off of heart rate, and then I found that I can tie the app to the watch and it counts my calories for me. And the app is like, bro, you are fucking starving yourself. Like it's just constantly telling me that I'm not eating enough food, you know? And I stay really lean, you know, just from running all the time. But I'll get like a lot of chicks will tell me all the time, like I'll be eating a bunch of fucking carbs, and they're like, oh my God, if I was young like you. I'm like, woman, I'm 30. I am 30 like, how am I young? I was like, it's the fact that I vaporize, you know, and I don't work out near as much as you guys do, but sometimes I'll do like a 2 a day, you know, I'll lift heavy as fuck for 2 hours, and then I'll go for like a 5 miler, and I'm exhausted by the end of the day. And if I don't eat the next day when I wake up, bro, and I don't get 8 hours, I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Rakim, talk to me. I skipped over you. My bad on that. So your diet, man, like, do you try to, you were talking about the fight camps, but do you have like a specific way that you like to eat or train? And the only reason why I'm asking is because I had a gentleman on the podcast before, Mr. Patrick Ryan, my boy, and he's a professional fitness trainer. So I tried to get him to come down on a specific type of diet. Like I don't believe in like keto and carnivore and all that dumb shit. You know, parts of it make sense, paleo, the whole bit. But I don't like diet. I like lifestyle changes. You know, like people always ask me like advice. You know, so you don't prescribe to a specific diet type. You're just kind of the same thing. Like you just feel off your body and then just feed it what you need, like hungry eat kind of thing.
Well, when I first started, you know, like I was fat, so like I had to diet.
Right. Okay.
And it took me like 6 months to start listening to my coaches. He's like, man, just eat this every day.
Yeah.
Grilled chicken, brown rice, and sweet potato. He said every day. And that's what I started doing. And
that's hardcore, bro.
Yeah. And
that gets tiring as fuck.
Horrible. And then, for breakfast, he would like just eat eggs and oatmeal, but put like peanut butter and whey protein in your oatmeal.
Yeah.
So then I added that to my diet. And I did that for my first fight. And it worked, I lost like 30 pounds.
Yeah. Damn, man.
And then eventually when you just start fighting and you keep having to make 145, you just know what you got to eat.
Sure.
So, but
I'm sure you cut out like sodas and excessive.
I don't drink any soda or anything.
Like
I just
that.
drink water every day now for the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's a bitch some days for me to get a gallon down, bro. I try to do a gallon a day, and some days I'm like, fuck,
You have to though, especially when you're running like you run, and training like we train. At least a gallon a day.
Yeah,
and to sleep.
Right. Yeah, that's a big one. I'm glad you brought that up. So do you guys make it a point to get your 8? I feel bad because I kind of felt like I was waking you up, dog, like a little early.
Yeah.
I showed up this morning.
Man, I get off of work at 12, so I got my 8. I just was a little late,
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely get my sleep. I like to use indica to fall asleep.
Okay.
Even though
indica. What's that?
He's like purple steak. You got a particular strain? Let's hear the shout out, man. Come on.
Nah, right now, I just like indica, like OG.
Yeah, okay.
Just for sleep, not for work. Otherwise, I'll be knocked out.
Right. Yeah, it's like a downer indicas compared to sativas being more of an upper, right? Yeah.
Because I'll be up all night if I don't. But yeah, you got to get your sleep, especially if you're training. If you try to like pull an all-nighter, you're going to feel that shit in training the next day.
Got you. So you guys don't party like excessively and shit like that? I mean, how much does drinking play in your guys' diet? It's a safe place. You could tell me for
technically you shouldn't because mainly just because of recovery.
Okay.
When we're in fight camp, your muscles are constantly being broken down, and if you have a sip of alcohol, one beer, that's adding to that recovery time. Because your body can't really recover when you have alcohol in your system because it's trying to fight that alcohol out.
Okay.
So it's taken away from that recovery.
Too many toxins to bleed or whatever.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. So you don't want to, you can take a break here and there. You want to go out one night, get drunk, you have a few drinks, whatever. But you got to kind of earn it too.
Right. So put the work back in the next day.
Or the day before and the next day, yeah. Right. Get those toxins out as soon as possible. But it also helps the mental just going out and having a little fun.
Yeah.
Because if you're in here training every day and you're like, there's no fun to it, or you start not having fun, you feel like this is, it starts feeling too much like a job, and you just need to take a little break and have a little fun.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, and I think that's true with like a lot of people will get into a habit of that, whereas they don't reward themselves, like you said. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think you have to put in some work beforehand. Like with me, I'll put in like a crazy long run, or I'll tackle like a nice big podcast like you boys are doing today, and I appreciate you guys coming on. No
worries.
But like after the fact, I feel like I've captured a unicorn kind of thing. Like I fucking did it. Like the thing went through, and I feel like that's the reward mechanism. And me even being in IT like I have since like 2013, I got into the habit of drinking every day, and the only thing that would stave it off is running. And it was a fucked cycle because sometimes I'm not getting sleep and then I'm running, So I think now I've gotten to the point where it's like I reward myself, and I think this is huge advice for people listening because a lot of people are working, 9 to 5s like 99% of us, you know what I mean? And they don't have like a job where you make up your own schedule, being able to sleep as much as you want into the next day. Because if I could go out and party on a fucking Wednesday, because they always have like in New Mexico for some reason, I don't know who the fuck puts this together, but they have good concerts like on Tuesday nights. Yeah. And then you're there till like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. You have some drinks with the boys or with your, you go out with your wife, your girl, whatever. And then the next day you're like, oh, the alarm goes off and you're calling in and you've been on Facebook playing your live videos. And of course your boss is like, you're sick, right? Okay. All right, bro.
Ain't too many days calling in around here. I mean, because even if you're hungover, you wake up, you recover, you eat something, drink something, you go to fucking work, you at least get a workout in, So,
and I'm sure you're
the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys get called out a lot if somebody's starting to lack?
We just had a fighters meeting last week with Coach Winklejohn. He says he doesn't care if like we have a beer or something, but he said make sure you put training at the forefront of your,
right,
your purpose. So
sure.
like, and I agree with him. I train hard every day. I don't miss a class during the week, at all. And then if I want to, maybe on the weekend I'll have like a beer or I'll go out to the bar and, you know, just try to let loose because like he said, man, it's almost like it starts feeling like a job here. This place used to be a corrections facility, so like you
this building that we're in?
Yeah. So
No way.
So you have to like press a,
like that.
yeah, you have to press a button just to open the door. So it kind of does feel like jail sometimes.
Yeah.
But we love what we do, you know? It's like,
well, you're here for a purpose, for sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
to be honest, my weekdays feel like the weekend.
Okay.
And then on the weekends, even though like I'm partying and going out, like sometimes I don't know what to do with myself. You know?
You like
I'd rather
miss
be
it.
Training. Yeah.
That's the way you should be living your life, though. That's really the way you should be living your life. And just for you guys listening, we're inside of the Jackson's Winklejohn Pro Gym. Do I have that right? That's how I'd say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is where the big dogs get down. This isn't the Weekend
Absolutely.
Warriors. So this is like a dorm room that we're sitting inside of, and there's signatures and all kinds of pictures and belts and all kinds of shit all over the place. So this place, like, it has to put you in the mood. Is this a one of a kind place like this? I mean, I know you guys may not have seen all the places, but is there other gyms that are?
I think there's a few other big, some of the big gyms that offer dorms and stuff like that and living situations. But like this is one of a kind. I think with it being the old DEA building or whatever it was something like that.
It's very New Mexico for sure.
The way it's set up is there's something about it, but it's one of a kind. We got apartments in here, and we got these dorm rooms and stuff like that. And then you might have 3 or 4 guys in one room, or you know. And I say an apartment, we just got 2 guys in it. But but I've been in the dorm room too, and it adds to that. You know, everybody's away from home, so. It adds to that feeling, but the camaraderie too. You know, you got the people you live with around here, those same people you're grinding with, that you're working with every day. So most of the time, it equates to people pushing each other,
right?
Holding each other accountable.
Because you guys are here for a reason. I mean, you're not here to fuck off, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
You see your roommate getting up and getting it in. You might get up and get it in too. You know.
And this is a question that actually a buddy of mine had sent in. Shout out Jared, but basically. And you know, it's a weird one, but with what's happening in 2019 with gender equality stuff, do you guys see something happening like a girl versus a guy, if not amateur, but maybe in UFC? And then additionally, what do you guys think about like transgender stuff, like a dude converted to a chick, being a chick, you know, and then going to fight in the girls' side or the women's side? Excuse me, I don't want to misspeak. And the women's side of MMA, what is your guys' opinion of that? Or not having an opinion, which is cool.
You want to go first? I got an opinion about it.
Yeah, well, that's already happened in boxing.
Okay.
A female boxer, she boxed a guy, whooped his ass.
No way.
Yeah, but my opinion on it, honestly, growing up, you all know that guys are naturally stronger than females, so I just don't think a guy should be fighting females.
Right. Like even a transgender individual.
No, I don't. Yeah, because it's
Right.
just scientifically proven that men are naturally stronger.
Right.
Even in animals, the male is usually stronger than the female.
Right. And
counterpart.
when you look at like military, all of the specs for getting into the military, the guys have like a huge leap and bound of a difference. Like the bar you have to hit in order to just get accepted to the military is much higher than women. You know what I mean? So I think if you're reversing those roles, even if you went and had this surgery and it's a personal decision, whatever, I think to me that's just biologically it's not cool. You know, there was a story that how was it? It was a boy that had converted to a girl and was wrestling girls.
Yeah,
and he was dominating. Yeah, and it's like I thought that was dirty, man. Like it's cheating.
It's fucked up. I mean, you got that's a boy.
Yeah,
wrestling in a girls' division, and you know I know women are strong individuals, but science. You know, science is science, and a man's a man, a woman's a woman.
Science doesn't care what you think.
Yeah, and that's why there's different. You know, that's why there's different leagues. You know, you got women's stuff and you got men's stuff. Yeah, just because and that's why a man's going to get in trouble if he beats the shit out of a woman. Right. Yeah. You know, and sometimes if a woman beats the shit out of a man, right, it's what you know. It's it's whatever. So you know, a man's just like you said, naturally. Physically a bigger person and stronger most of the time. There's women out there that are strong. I know that they're stronger than a lot of men, but overall, you know, a man's stronger than a woman, and especially, and they're doing this stuff in high school, in grade school and stuff like that. Like, no, like you can't do that. Yeah, I mean it's just not right. Like if my daughter wrestled and she had to wrestle against a boy that wants to be a girl, like. No. Yeah. No. Like
of course you won, motherfucker.
I'll beat your ass, little boy. I don't care if you think you're a girl or not.
That's huge, man. Well, Well, and it's not that I was trying to go one way or the other. I just wanted to get your guys' conversation on that, because that's how I feel. And I think a lot of people that know what fighting's about, it's one thing, but then you've got like your triggered college level, and I hate to use this word, but millennials that are, kind of in that same mindset that is very liberal, and
delusional,
I'm kind of liberal.
Man.
It's for sure.
I mean, I get certain points, but at some time you just got to stop lying to yourself and be like, yeah, because it's right there, it's black and white,
right. Because a converted man to a woman going to the gym is going to get a lot bigger. If she would be, lifting quite a bit after the change, because your body's still producing those hormones.
Exactly.
You're genetically created to, bulk,
Yeah. No matter how much you fight it, you're still a man,
right? Right.
It's
So that's a fucked up tangent. That's my bad. But you were saying something about the gym, man?
Oh yeah. Just in the same theme as the podcast, a perch of birds. And we were talking earlier about how there's different levels in the gym and how different people interact and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a pecking order, and but we're all here, and we all tend to correct each other or help each other out or whatever, but we're all in the same fucking
perch.
gym.
Yeah,
we're on the
yeah.
same fucking gym, the same perch. So that's really, a good way to sum it up of everybody that's here, a perch of birds, because we're all doing the same shit.
Yeah.
We're fighting,
right?
We're all doing the same shit here for the same reason. But we all might have a little bit of different mindset, but there's, like I said, there's a pecking order, and the people to keep you in line, people to motivate you, and all that. So I just wanted to throw that in. And
no, I appreciate that, bro.
It's a good comparison.
Yeah.
So
well, a lot of people don't get it when I first say it, but then when I explain it, and it's like, because that's what I saw all these finches on the same level, and I'm like, even if you got like the alpha finch, which could be like John Jones or something, right?
Yeah,
and then you've got you guys, and even you two are on these different levels, but you're able to sit here and as equals and peers, be able to conversate about something that you both love and are passionate about. I feel like this is going to motivate some folks to even, that's one of the reasons why I started the podcast, was to kind of enlighten people that get off your ass. Normal people like all three of us here can do anything that you can think of. Just, if you dream it, you can do it. So what advice would each of you guys have for somebody that has always thought of themselves as maybe like, I can fight, maybe I got into some fights, or I'd always like to try it? What's the best advice you can give somebody that may want to start breaking into this day and age compared to what it was 10 years ago? You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
I would say listen to your inner voice, but also know that this shit is real. Like, if you get into MMA, you're gonna get uglier. Like, I got scars on my face. You're gonna get hit. You're gonna have days where you're happy. You're gonna have days where you're sad. You're gonna cry. Literally, you're gonna be happy. Yeah. But I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. This shit is fun.
That's huge.
It's an emotional ride. And even if I don't make it big, like, just the journey was fun,
Yeah.
Like, I'll look back as an old man in my rocking chair, like, yeah, man, that was fun. I would have rather did that for 10 years. And
stories for days for your kids and stuff.
And, just, have someone say, oh, he was a good salesman at my funeral.
Yeah. Right. No, that totally makes sense, bro. That's fucking huge that you said that, bro. What you got, Devin?
I would think, it's definitely not for everybody. So if you're right now, you've kind of debated it, or if you've ever thought like, oh, I can never do that, don't fucking try it.
Yeah.
It might not be for you, but like he said, you gotta love to do this shit. It's really hard. It's one of the hardest professions you can get into. I mean,
sure. You guys are fucking professional gladiators and shit.
Yeah, we get up at 9:30 in the morning on a fucking Monday and we go spar.
Yeah.
We go get hit in the face. Nobody wants to do that. At times we don't even want to do that.
Right.
But once we love doing it though.
Yeah.
Once you check that off, I just fucking did that. So, but if you are thinking about it and you want to be serious about it, and you want to fall in love with it, I would say give it a try. Start at your local gym. There's a lot of UFC gyms all over, and you're bound to meet a fighter that's at a little bit of a higher level, and you can kind of get an insight of how they kind of have to live their life and how they have to train, stuff like that. So definitely research it before you try to just jump into it. Or I guess, you can just jump into it and see what happens. You might love it.
Hey, I didn't die. I'll do that again.
but if you've had any kind of a hard upbringing, or you got in a lot of fights, but you've had to be mentally tough for whatever reason, I would say give it a try. You're probably capable of doing it if you were able to get through really hard times in your life, or you had to. You didn't have any choice. So that seems to bring about the best MMA fighters.
Sure.
It's those that had to go through struggle and had a lot of ups and downs in their lives, and that can maybe handle that and are looking for an outlet and a way to get out of that life.
Right.
So it could be beneficial in many different ways for many different people.
Do you think like a particular path like jiu-jitsu first or anything like that is a good idea? Because I feel like you guys really leaned into the wrestling background that you had, and like a guy like me, I've never been in wrestling. I can do very little jiu-jitsu. I just haven't done it. You know what I mean? But I mean, would you say that that's a better path, or just fucking whatever gets you in the door?
For a younger person that's still going through school and stuff like that, I would say get into wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one of the best ways to get started and get that mentality, because wrestling's a motherfucker. I mean, we learned some shit at a young age about how to be tough, how to be mentally tough, and just through wrestling and physically, you know.
Yeah.
So I would say wrestling or boxing, something like that.
Okay.
But if you're an adult, they do offer a lot of jiu-jitsu classes and stuff like that. I would say jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai.
Okay, that's cool. That's fucking huge, man. This is great advice. So I guess just, you know, one of the last few questions I got for you guys is, what are we looking at in the future? What fights you guys got coming up? Where is a spot where somebody can come see you guys fight? Besides, of course, we're going to see you on TV, right?
Yeah, you come to St. Petersburg, Russia.
Yeah.
It's the nicest time of year.
Is that going to be pay-per-view?
No, it's a fight night, I think. I think it's ESPN card.
Okay.
But
do you know what dates?
420, April 20th.
That's my.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what's funny about that? Let me tell. Besides what's obviously funny about that is that's my anniversary for my marriage.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And
And
you
we
guys got
didn't-
married on 420.
Yeah, well, and it was like one of those things where we were gonna buy a house and we were young and stupid, and the guy that was gonna sell it to us, he was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna sell it to single people because I've gotten fucked like that before."
Oh, okay.
Where they split up,
Yeah.
and like I was already gonna marry her anyways. Like we were engaged, so it was just like, well, to get the paperwork signed, fuck it, let's go. You know, so we just went, and I didn't even snap until the day of. I was like, oh.
That's crazy.
So okay, so that's on a fight night. And then Rakim, talk to me. When's your next fight, man? You got something lined up?
Oh, actually, man, I'm getting surgery April 5th.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, I got a complex tear in my meniscus, so I'm going to be out for 6 weeks, which sucks because, you know, I got a lot of momentum coming off my last fight, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, Coach Joey was looking for me a fight in Arizona this past week, but I got to get surgery. I had this injury for like a year, so I'll definitely be back this summertime. you know?
Okay.
So
No, I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'd like to
Yeah.
get out and actually see you guys fight and take some fucking, you know, like do some selfies. You know, I'm a fangirl hard. I'll be like, hey, say it on the podcast. Where can we find you guys on social media? Let's put that out there.
Instagram, one Rakim.
Rakim, right?
Yes, one, the number, and then Rakim.
Okay.
That's what I mostly use. I don't use anything else really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Instagram, I use that the most too, because other ones kind of.
Yeah, I like Instagram.
I'm not too
bro.
much into social media, but I like Instagram. At Brown Bear UFC. So Devin Terrell Clark. You search that, you'll find me.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
And when I pulled up both you guys, you can find you guys just Google searching your names.
Yeah.
So that's badass, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on and
thank you.
Fucking, you know, when this comes out, bro, I really, really appreciate you guys doing this. And if you share it for me, I greatly appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely,
Oh, yeah,
of course.
definitely.
For sure, guys. All right, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys.